Okay, here we are for our first official episode of the Movie Night Podcast, and we are men of our word, and as you heard in episode 0, I know, it's hard to believe, you're honest.
It never happens.
As we said in episode 0, we have indeed watched Manos, The Hands of Fate. This is Ash coming to you again, and with me are my same friends.
Leech,
Flanagan,
and Torgo.
Torgo.
Of course, Torgo is here.
Torgo always is with you.
Dude, it's like, I heard about this movie for so long. It was on IMDb's worst list, Entertainment Weekly. Yeah, everyone's. So I had seen it.
I hate this movie.
Every time some official magazine that's respected or website that's respected did a list, this was always at the top or very close, and I was always intrigued to see it. And after 10 seconds, I know why. It was like, this movie.
You know why you were intrigued to see it?
No, I know why it's there. It's just, it's so awful. It's like it's.
Well, as mentioned in our previous episode, as we dubbed it, episode 0, a clever Resident Evil reference. Mr. Flanagan is the only one to have seen it without the MST3K version.
True,
and I've seen it with the MST3K version, and Ash has never seen it at all prior to about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, we literally stopped. We finished the movie. We all took a turn to throw up, have a cigarette, and now here it is.
We're all getting ready to drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Oh wow. My main thing was okay. I'm assuming most people who've listening to this have seen it. Okay, the couple, they, for some reason, unbeknownst to God and nature, they get lost somehow. There's a tree in the road at one point, and they can't.
Well, they are on their way to a vacation at Hidden Valley.
Oh, is that it?
That's why they can't find it.
Hidden Valley.
Yeah,
that's why they can't find it.
It's hidden. It's a valley that is not found easily by humans.
You clearly paid much more attention to it than I did. But
remember, this is my 6th time seeing it.
Oh, Jesus.
That explains a lot about you.
I've only watched it MST3K for 4 of those times. This is
Oh.
my 2nd time seeing it.
Okay, well, I've seen it easily that many times,
MST3K, you know, that's a written pass. You are allowed to watch it.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Because you'll detain some form of enjoyment and pleasure
Exactly.
out of it.
Can I say something about this movie already, though? Just the dichotomy of Manos? Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yes. No, but about the MST3K version specifically is one of the things I respect about Manos, The Hands of Fate, as a movie, is that it's one of the very few films that manages to pull off the trick, even in the MST3K version, of having their episode be hilarious, and yet the movie still bores the out of you. I could not stand watching it even then, and now even worse. It killed my brain.
And you got to really give it up to those guys. They had to sit down and within a course of a week and watch the movie 5 or 6 times in order to get the jokes.
Yeah.
The fact that there were
that's
still
a good point.
cast members at the end of that episode, they didn't blow their own brains.
Well, I heard
out.
Crow was addicted to drugs for a while
That
after
is
watching
true.
Manos.
Yeah,
Crow
that
was
explains
addicted
a
to
lot.
the black
Crow-
tar.
Crow got into black tar heroin,
and we
I'm
can't
about
talk
to
about
myself.
what Tom Servo was into.
Oh, you don't
not-
even want to know what that
It's
guy
not
was
Servo,
into.
man. It's Gypsy. She's got that big suck you back thing going on with her mouth.
Well, Gypsy was on steroids, hence the voice. It's a man, but
It really is a man.
Yeah. So we're kind of off topic.
No, we're really not. No.
Anything but talking about Manos.
And I think it's, in doing any sort of research for the film, Mr. Flanagan went on to IMDb and he looked up all the trivia, which is right on...
There's more trivia about this movie than there is dialogue in this movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
It takes you longer to read said trivia than the movie itself, which only runs, thankfully, 69 very long minutes.
Yeah, it really is. That was the one thing. I mean, naturally, I guess that's part of Manos' power. He draws you in. He's like, it's only 69 minutes, and we were all 2 hours ago, we could do this.
I think that's a misprint and a flaw on the DVD encoding. The movie was actually 6 hours long, but my PS3 only read it as an hour and 19 minutes.
Felt like it.
Yeah,
but all right. Some of the IMDb trivia for this is really, really fascinating. It's because, apparently all the voiceovers, what is it? The audio track was completely lost.
There was no audio track. It was filmed without
It was filmed
sound.
with no sound mixer.
It was filmed in 32-second increments without sound.
Holy Christ.
There was
You're thinking
no
of the
lighting.
Creeping Terror with the lost soundtrack.
Oh, all right, all right.
No, this had no sound. There were only 3 people. 2 guys and 1 girl did all the dialogue in the whole movie.
Yeah, and I did see that one piece of trivia where it said
the movie itself, made in 1966, was made for a nice budget of $19,000.
It's
which
like $1 million
Exactly.
Nowadays, that's like $750,000.
Yeah.
But
So
I thought it was great that the one right there is talking about how the voices were dubbed in. The girl who plays the little girl in the movie, when she heard her voice at the premiere, heard it wasn't known, she cried. So it's like, oh.
But
Aw.
she should be happy. She was only one of 2 people in the film to get paid. Most of the cast and crew
Only
worked
one of
for a
one
credit. She got a nice shiny bicycle out of the job, and the Doberman Pinscher got a bag of dog food. That was all the money paid to cast members in this movie.
Jesus.
Ugh.
Yeah.
where'd the $19,000 go?
To those
Drugs.
That
Drugs.
that
Lots
awesome
of
Manos
drugs.
robe, dude.
Yeah. The
Lots
hands
and
robe,
lots.
which, as I have to mention, although everyone listening to this probably already knows it. Manos, the hands of fate. Manos is Spanish for hands,
Yep.
so the movie's title is Hands, the Hands of Fate. So,
Which will
that-
lead nicely into the sequel, Pedos. The
feet of fate. What a feat it is to defeat the feet of fate.
It's quite a feat. All right, I do have to say that the greatest character in the movie is Torgo.
Torgo!
Oh, I'm glad that I am loved.
And
I'm your special guest today, Master.
I didn't know how many different TV shows and other things in pop culture have referenced this character. Mr. Leach was telling me about it before we started. Like, you said that they've done it a lot on MST3K.
He was a
MST3K, he was a recurring
on
character on
MST3K.
TV's Torgo.
That's the TV's Torgo.
TV's Torgo. And Futurama.
Futurama, thank you. I couldn't remember if
References.
they said that or The Simpsons.
Torgo, yeah, they have
Also,
Torgo's
the
executive
documentary on Manos, the Hands of Fate is known as Hotel Torgo.
Is it really?
Yes.
Yes,
documentary.
There is a documentary out there. I'm not going to search it because I think I feel
I
I already
can't.
know too much
I'm
of this
sure
movie.
that would be more interesting
The
than the film
fact
itself.
that the majority of the cast, well, none of them ever went on to work again, with the exception of one, the costume designer. The costume designer of the film was actually involved in the very first IMAX film in 1977. So,
Spider-Man 3?
yes, Spider-Man 3 was the very first IMAX film
Excellent.
in
That's the first one I saw.
1977. Well, that's
Spider-Man
all
2.
that matters.
Spider-Man 2, Electric Boogaloo.
And the sequel,
Manos 2.
Transformers 2, Super Electric Boogaloo.
Super Electric.
Manos 2, Torgo's Boogaloo.
Well, when I first saw Torgo, the first thing I thought was like, okay, it's Renfield. Here's the Renfield character. But then I just noticed 2 seconds later, why does this character look like he shit himself? Like, he really does look like he shit himself. And then
We
the
waited
guy-
a
yeah.
good 10 minutes before revealing
Which
the truth.
felt like an hour.
It did feel like an hour.
Just to put it into
For
perspective.
those who don't know, Torgo is actually not supposed to be human with giant freaking legs. You know, who uses Thigh
giant
Master.
inverted knees.
He is
yeah.
supposed to be a satyr. He is supposed to have goat legs. Which is also why he talks like this.
Yeah.
Is he's supposed to be a
He's not
goat.
just really, really drunk. He is a goat
Oh,
man.
I'm sure he was really.
Well, the actor,
really
I'm sure,
drunk.
was really. Well, he was on something.
Well,
we'll get
actually,
to that.
we'll get to that later.
And it's one of those things. It just everything about Torgo and everything about the whole movie just screams of being so awful. And I was really because you watch a movie like this, and all you can think of is like, how the did anybody ever think this was a good idea? How did any producer ever look at this and say, fantastic?
There
Go
was
out-
no producer.
Yeah, well,
Stop
in this
drilling,
case,
you hit oil.
in this case, there's no producer.
There
but
is only one person.
one of the IMDb trivia said that the crew itself knew how bad it was, started calling it mangoes, the cans of fruit. And it's just like, Jesus Christ, when the people you're making the movie with, who you're supposed to have some sort of camaraderie with, are not even giving you the slightest bit of backing. This is just terrible. And I do like how Torgo is constantly, used with his delightful theme song. That music. There it is. I was not even going to try to stop you. I'm like, please,
No,
keep this
going.
magic going.
Torgo
I'm
loves
planning
his
on
theme.
putting this theme song into this
Oh,
episode.
theme song
right.
You're going to
short
be
with
listening
this.
to this.
Yeah. No, there's one facet of Torgo that I find absolutely fascinating that I feel bears mentioning too.
Please
His
tell.
great big bushy beard.
Great big bushy beard.
Torgo has a great big bushy beard.
Because he was
Further
a drunken
emphasizing
hobo off the street.
he was a hobo,
The
probably.
satyr thing?
Yeah.
the satyr thing.
But honestly, after you had said that, as you said, like 10 or 15 minutes in, it kind of looks like he's wearing that hat to cover ears. Because don't satyrs usually have like
They
elf
have
ears?
pointy
They
ears,
do have
yes.
pointy ears, and don't some of them have little horns?
Horns.
And he's
Sure.
wearing pants to cover
He's
his
wearing
goat legs.
pants
To cover his goat-
Yes, nice khakis to cover his
Very
goat
nice
legs.
khakis. Torgo is a fashionable
He
lackey.
is.
Dude,
He's a lackey in khakis.
I know.
the Kegami. It's like, that's the way that a satyr actually walks. What kind of cruel joke is that to whoever created it?
It's not that that's the way a satyr walks.
It's the pants
They
that are constricting.
put an apparatus on him to
I
be
know.
the fake legs, but they put it on backwards. So he was always walking the wrong way. You'd think they would have corrected this in the 3 weeks that this film was shot in, that someone would go, hey, wait a minute, Torgo's legs are on backwards.
Yeah, the character was actually supposed to be incredibly fast like the Flash, but they it up.
Well, he does run away really quick in that one scene after they burn his hand off, because that is actually legitimate. They didn't have money for special effects. They really cut off the actor's hand.
Actual charred
They burned him.
appendage.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.